Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, guys.
Good
Morning.
morning, sir.
Okay, how are you feeling today?
I'm good.
Good. I'm fine.
Good. Oh, Rizky, good. Isma, fine. And Dini also. All right. Before we continue to our lessons, let's pray together. Pray, begin. Finish? Now, before I continue to the material, I will check your attendance first. I will call your name one by one. So first is Isma Halidatul,
Yes, sir. Present.
Andini Aja,
Present.
M. Rizky Setiadi.
Present.
All right, everyone is present. Looks like you all have a good spirit today. Now, do you still remember what our last meeting materials? It's something
No,
about
sir.
text. Yeah. Isma, do you still remember?
No.
No. Rizky, still remember?
No, sir. Forget.
Andini, maybe Andini.
Lupa, sir.
All right. So our last material is about descriptive text, and in today material we are gonna the our topic today is about narrative text. Okay. Now, is everyone can see my presentations here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, in here, I have a learning competencies for this narrative text material. There are two learning competencies. The first, can you read? Rizky, can you read this point?
Yes, sir. Wait.
Okay, just the 3.8.
Okay. Learning competition 3.8. This quiz says social function, text structure, and linguistic element of several spoke and writer narrative text by giving and asking for information related to folk legend according to the context of their use.
Okay, thank you, Rizky. And the next point of learning competencies, to Andini Ajeng, can you read the 4.8?
Wait, sir.
Yes.
Distinguish social function, text structure, and linguistic
Sorry, the
element.
4.8, the capturing
yeah.
meaning. Yes. Continue.
Capturing meaning contextually relate to social function, text structure, and linguistic element of simple narrative. Spoken and written text relate to folk legend.
Okay, thank you. So this 2 point is the learning competencies of this narrative text, and also there are a learning objective of this narrative text. So to Isma, can you read this learning objective?
Okay, sir. Learning objectives, students are expected to be able to compare and analyze a narrative text, defining the social function, the generic structure, and language features in the narrative text, understand the moral value in the story.
Thank you, Isma. So we already know what is the learning competencies of narrative text and learning objective of narrative text. But guys, now what is narrative text itself? Can, are you already knows what is narrative text? Or someone here know what is narrative
And I, sir.
text is? Okay, Isma, go on.
Narrative text includes any type of writing that relates a series of events and includes both fiction atau suatu bentuk wacana yang sasarannya adalah tindakan atau yang dijalin mencapai sebuah peristiwa. Sir.
Okay, thank you, Isma. So it's like a retell a story, right? Okay, so narrative text is a type of text that tells a story or describe a sequence or events. The purpose of this narrative text is to entertain or inform the reader by presenting a series of events in a coherent and engaging way. I'm sorry. So in narrative text, there are generic structure. So is everyone here know what is the generic structure of narrative text?
Can I too?
Yes, please keep.
Kayak struktur umum yang isinya kayak orientation, complication, uh, sequence of event, resolution, orientation, ya ada
Yes,
5.
yeah, you are right. So there are three. The main of generic structure there are three, but in here I wrote four generic structure. There are orientations, complications, resolutions, and reorientations. So Rizky, can you read the orientation?
Okay, sir. Wait. Orientation. The orientation show the question who, where, and when. We should be able to identify the character and setting.
Yes. So the orientation is about who, where, and when. So it's like the opening of the story. And the next is complications. The complication is contains the problems that occur within a story. So what the problem that makes the story happen like that. And the next is resolutions. The resolutions is part of narrative text or conflict or problem introduced earlier in story is resolved and addressed. So it means how the problems is solved like that. So reorientations is the same like resolutions, but it's giving you characters experience and consequences of their actions, something like that. So we move on to the language features of this narrative text. There are six of language features of narrative text. There are past tense. Past tense is like something that happened before, like killed, drunk, and when, something like that. And the second is adverb of time. It's setting of time, like today, once upon a time, tomorrow, like something like that. The next is time conjunctions. It's like when, then, suddenly, yes, something like that. And the third is specific character like Snow White, Cinderella, uh what else, Malin Kundang, something like that. The fourth is action verb. There are walk, talk, or eat, and drink, like that. And the last thing is direct speech, use present tense like that. So this is the language features of this narrative text. So we move on to this picture. Have you already known what this picture is tell about, or what story of this picture?
Can I share is Malin Kundang?
Malin Kundang, Isma, yes. This is the story of Malin Kundang. This picture is represent of story of Malin Kundang. So in here, the story of Malin Kundang is anyone want to read the story all of this? I give you a point if you want to read this.
Can I share?
Oh, of course, Isma again. Come on, go on.
Malin Kundang. Once upon a time, there was a poor fisherman named Malin Kundang who lived in a small village on the coast of West Sumatra, Indonesia. Despite his humble origins, Malin Kundang had dreams of wealth and success, and he left his village to seek his fortune in the big city. Years passed, and Malin Kundang became incredibly rich through his hard work and business acumen. He married a beautiful woman and had a son, but he never returned to this village or acknowledged his past. One day, Malin Kundang's ship was anchored near the coast of his hometown, and he saw an old man whooping at him from the shore. She was none other than his mother, who had been searching for him for many years. Malin Kundang was ashamed of his humble origins and refused to acknowledge her, instead ordering his crew to set sail and leave the shore. As the ship sailed away, a storm suddenly appeared, and the ship was battered by high waves. Malin Kundang tried to save himself, but he slipped and fell onto the deck, where he was struck by lightning and turned into a stone statue.
All right, good, Isma. All right. So we already talked about the generic structure of narrative text. Now let's try to find a generic structure of this story. First, we need to find orientation. So, to Andini, can you find the orientations of this Malin Kundang story?
Dari once upon a time sampai the big city.
The big city, or this, yeah, his fortune in the big city. All right, now let's move on to the complications. To Rizky, can you find the complications of this story?
Castle White. From your space to his space.
To his past. All right. The last one is about the resolution to Isma. Can you find the resolutions of this story?
From one day until into stone statue.
Interesting statue. Okay, thank you. Let's check if you right or wrong, right? Okay, let's see. All right, the green one is the orientations, and this red one is the complication, and the uh uh well, the orange one is the resolutions. Okay. For you, Andini, you're right. And for Rizky, also you're right. And for Isma, also you answered right. Okay, now let's move on again. Okay, good everyone. Now let's move on to the group activity. I will divide you into three groups in here. For the group one is Rizky Septiadi, and the group two is Isma Halidatul, and for the group three, I will choose Andini Ajeng. So guys, in here, you need to find a narrative text from the internet and try to analyze the structure that used in the narrative text. So you need to find a story like Malin Kundang like this, and you need to find the generic structure of the narrative text like orientation, complication, and resolutions. So I will give you 1 minute to find the story on the internet. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Ting, ting. Okay. Andini, are you already found a story? Found the story?
Already, sir.
All right. How about Isma?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good. And Rizky, how about you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Everyone have a story, different stories. So who wants to be the first?
Can I, sir?
Of course, Andini. You can read your story first, and I will ask you what is the orientation, complication, and the resolutions. Okay. To Andini, go on.
A lion and the mouse. A lion must sleep in the sun all day. A little mouse come out to play. The little mouse ran up the lion's neck and slid down his back. The lion caught him with a great big smack. I'm going to eat you. The lion roared, his mouth open wide. No, no, please don't. The little mouse cried, be kind to me and one day I will help you. I'm a lion, you are mouse. What can you do? The lion laughed very hard and the mouse ran away. But the mouse was out walking. The very next day, he heard a big roar and squeak when he saw the king of the jungle tied to a tree, but the mouse had a plan to set him free. The mouse walked quickly and crawled through the rope. The lion said, oh, little mouse, I had no hope. You were right, little mouse. Thank you, I'm free. You're the best friend there ever could be.
All right. So the title is The A Lion and the Mouse, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the orientations of that story?
A lion was asleep in the sun one day. A little mouse came out to play.
Yeah, good. You're right. And for the complications?
The lion tied to a tree by some hunter.
A lion tied to a tree by some hunters. Good. And the last one is the resolutions.
The mouse walked quickly and chewed through the rope and success to make the lion free.
Okay, so the mouse is succeeded to make the lion free. All right. Thank you to Andini Aja. You have a good. Okay. Now next we move on to who wants to be the next? Thank you, Andini.
Can I, sir?
Of course. Go on, Risky.
Okay. The title of my story is The Original of City Surabaya Story. A long time ago, there were two animals, Sura and Baya. Sura was the name of the shark, and Baya was the crocodile. They live in the sea. When Sura and Baya were looking for some food, suddenly Baya saw a goat. A goat. Yummy, this is my lunch, said Baya. No way, this is my lunch. You are greedy, said Sura. Then they fought for the goat. After several hours, they were very tired. Feeling tired of fighting, they lived in different places. Sura lived in the water and Baya lived in the land. The border was the beach, so they would never fight again. One day, Sura went to the land of the look for some food in the river. He was very hungry and there was not much food in the sea. Baya, Baya was so very angry when he knew that Sura broke the promise. They fought again. They both hit each other. Sura hit Baya's tail, and Baya did the same thing to Sura, and he beat very hard until Sura finally gave up and went to back the sea. Baya was happy. That's
All right, good. So your story is about the origin of city of Surabaya, right? And
yes.
now, what is the orientations of your story?
The orientation is a long time ago. There were two animals, Sura and Baya. Sura was the name of the shark and Baya was a crocodile.
And for the complications?
Once Sura and Baya were looking for some food, they fought for the they
Nice.
fought for the food. Yeah.
Uh, okay, and for the resolutions?
For the solution is Sura finally gave up and went back to the sea. Baya was happy.
All right. Good, good, Risky. Thank you for volunteering yourself. And the next and be the last is the second group. Second group to Isma. It's your time. What is your story?
Okay,
Tell your story.
sir.
Okay. Go on.
Uh, The story of a rainbow. A very long time ago, there was a nice farmer named John. He married a beautiful woman, and both of them had a beautiful baby boy. But one day, the wife and son of the farmer got sick. Then the wife wore her wings and then flew with the son next to her, leaving the farmer alone and heartbroken. The gods didn't want to see him sad and heartbroken. The goddess helped the farmer by building a gorgeous, colorful bridge. The farmer can climb the sky and then see his wife and son again.
All right. So the title is The Story of a Rainbow. Good, good. So
Yes.
what is this orientations of your story?
The orientation is a long time ago, there was a farmer named John.
Good. And for the complications?
Complication is the wife wore her wings and then flew with the son next to her, leaving the farmer alone and heartbroken.
And the last one is the resolutions.
Resolution. The gods helped the farmer by building a gorgeous, colorful bridge. The farmer can climb the sky and then see his wife and son again.
Okay, thank you. That was a good answer too. Thank you for everyone from group 1, group 2, and group 3. You did a great job. And that's all for today materials. I hope you can take what the purpose of this narrative text and you understand what is about narrative text. So before I close this class, let's say hamdalah together. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Alhamdulillah.
Right. So that's all for today's class. I hope you like it. Sorry if I have mistaken. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you guys.